Servant Leadership Guide, Empowerment in Action. In the ever-evolving landscape of leadership philosophies, one approach that stands out for its profound impact is servant leadership. Far from the traditional top-down style, this philosophy centers around serving and empowering your team to achieve greatness collectively. Through this practical guide, we'll explore the steps you can take to effectively embrace and implement servant leadership in your leadership style, fostering an environment of growth, collaboration, and success. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi. Step 1. Embrace the mindset of a servant leader. Servant leadership begins with a shift in mindset. Rather than seeking to control or direct, your focus shifts to serving and supporting your team members. To start, engage in self-reflection. Ask yourself, why do I want to lead? Authentic servant leadership stems from a genuine desire to help others succeed. Consider your motivations and align them with this approach. Transitioning into active practice, empathy becomes your ally. Actively listen to your team members. Understand their experiences, challenges, and aspirations. This understanding builds a bridge of trust and forms the foundation of your leadership journey. Step 2. Build a strong foundation. Leading by example is the cornerstone of servant leadership. This involves modeling the values and behaviors you expect from your team. Your leadership journey here begins by creating a shared vision. Collaborate with your team to craft a compelling, motivating vision. This isn't a one-person show, it's a collaborative effort that values diverse perspectives. Transitioning from concept to reality becomes seamless when your team feels ownership. Step 3. Prioritize the growth and well-being of team members. Supporting the development of your team members is a pivotal aspect of servant leadership. Start by scheduling one-on-one meetings with each team member. Discuss their strengths, areas for growth, and aspirations. This personalized approach signals your commitment to their success. Identify barriers hindering their progress. These can be logistical, interpersonal, or systemic. Address them with a problem-solving mindset, demonstrating that you're invested in their journey. Step 4. Foster a collaborative environment. Collaboration thrives when open communication is the norm. Servant leadership encourages an atmosphere where everyone's voice is valued. To initiate this, regularly host team meetings, encourage open dialogue by asking questions like, what are your thoughts on this? And how can we improve? Transitioning from a monologue to a dialogue empowers your team members to share insights. As you shift from conversations to decisions, make a conscious effort to involve your team. This isn't about seeking consensus, but about recognizing their expertise. The act of including them bolsters trust and shows that their voices matter. Step 5. Serve and care for your team. Servant leadership thrives on understanding individual needs. This step involves getting to know your team members beyond their roles. Initiate conversations centered around their aspirations and goals. Transitioning from task-oriented discussions to broader life conversations enables you to tailor your support. Appreciation is another crucial aspect. Regularly express gratitude for their efforts. Acknowledge milestones and achievements publicly. Transitioning from mere acknowledgement to a celebration. Leadership is not about being in charge, it is about caring for those in your charge. Simon Sinek. Step 6, empower and delegate. Empowerment is more than giving tasks. It's about entrusting your team with ownership and decision-making authority. Transition into this phase by delegating responsibilities. Communicate expectations and outcomes. Transition from micromanagement to providing guidance. Be a resource, offering insights when needed while allowing them the space to excel. Step 7, continuous improvement. Servant leadership evolves through continuous reflection and adaptation. Reflect on your leadership journey. Transition from the what to the why. Ask yourself, why did this approach work? Or why did this approach fall short? Act on your insights by adjusting your strategies. As you learn, make sure to share your experiences with your team. The transition from a leader with all the answers to a leader willing to learn alongside the team. Step 8, lead with integrity. Integrity is the compass that guides your servant leadership journey. Transition into ethical decision-making by aligning your choices with your values. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Transition from the pressure of immediate outcomes to the long-term impact of your choices. Humble confidence is the sweet spot. Transition from being the all-knowing leader to admitting when you don't have all the answers. Embrace the notion that vulnerability and learning coexist. Step 9. Sustain servant leadership. To sustain the servant leadership approach, focus on nurturing successes and cultivating a culture. Identify emerging leaders within your team. Transition from being the sole torchbearer to preparing others to adopt the servant leadership philosophy. Cultivate a culture that echoes these principles. The transition from a single leader embodying this approach to a collective effort. Encourage other leaders to embrace these practices, nurturing a culture that outlasts individual leadership tenures. Recommended books on servant leadership. The Servant by James C. Hunter. This fictional story presents the core principles of servant leadership through the tale of a business executive who learns about servant leadership from a wise mentor. Servant Leadership, A Journey into the Nature of Legitimate Power and Greatness by Robert K. Greenleaf. This book, by the father of the modern servant leadership movement, explores the philosophy in depth, discussing the qualities of a servant leader and its impact on organizations. Leaders Eat Last, Why Some Teams Pull Together and Others Don't, by Simon Sinek. While not exclusively about servant leadership, this book explains how leaders who prioritize their team's well-being foster a culture of trust and cooperation. The 5 Levels of Leadership, Proven Steps to Maximize Your Potential by John C. Maxwell presents a leadership framework that focuses on serving others and growing as a leader, encouraging the principles of servant leadership. Dare to Lead, Brave Work, Tough Conversations, Whole Hearts by Brené Brown. Brené Brown's book combines vulnerability, empathy, and leadership. It highlights the importance of leading with empathy and authenticity. Leadership is an Art by Max Dupree. Max Dupree's book emphasizes the role of leadership as a form of art that involves nurturing relationships, fostering creativity, and serving others. Leadership and Self-Deception, Getting Out of the Box by the Arbinger Institute. This book presents the concept of in-the-box thinking and how to shift to an out-of-the-box mindset, which aligns well with the principles of servant leadership. Lead like Jesus, Lessons from the Greatest Leadership Role Model of All Time by Ken Blanchard and Phil Hodges. This book draws parallels between Jesus' leadership style and principles of servant leadership, offering valuable insights for leaders of all backgrounds. The Art of Servant Leadership 2: How You Can Succeed as a Servant Leader by Art Barter. This book provides practical advice and real-life examples of implementing servant leadership in various organizational contexts. The Servant Leader: How to Build a Creative Team, Develop Great Morale, and Improve Bottom Line Performance by James A. Autry. This book discusses the practical application of servant leadership principles in the business world. Remember, each book offers a unique perspective on servant leadership, and different books may resonate more with other readers. As you explore these titles, you'll gain a deeper understanding of how to embody and apply the principles of servant leadership in your leadership journey. In embracing servant leadership, you embark on a journey that transforms both your leadership style and the well-being of your team. This practical guide takes you through the transition from self-reflection to sustainable cultural change. Remember, servant leadership is not a destination. It's a continuous transition toward empowerment, empathy, and collective success. By actively implementing these steps and embracing the essence of servant leadership, you become a catalyst for positive transformation in your team and beyond. The Apollo Book Podcast. Learn fast, remember forever. Get free quizzes and take home activities by visiting apolloskills.com.